I know that human being and fish can coexist peacefully.
Hello and welcome to the Spoilt Milk Movie Podcast. Here at Spoilt Milk, we like to discuss, destroy and dissect guilty pleasure movies and decide whether they're truly spoilt milk or if they've ascended into a fine, luxurious cheese. So without further ado, here we go.
Warning, this podcast is full of spoilers for the title feature and there's bad language from the start. If you've never seen the film or you're offended by bad language, you have been warned.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Spoilt Milk Movie Podcast. My name's Chris Hammond and as always joined by the Hobo. How are you, Hobo?
I'm pretty sauced up.
I said I'd introduce you first this time.
I wasn't ready for it. I've normally got the Katty buffer and I didn't have that.
Sorry.
No.
Sorry. We've also got a special guest. We've got Laura. How are you, Laura?
I'm good, thank you.
Excellent.
Lean in, give us a wave.
Hands.
We are live streaming at the moment. And then we've also got Katty, and we're in your house today, aren't we?
We are. It's strange. I don't like change.
Yeah, and you've given me a really small seat.
You've got the pimp seat. The 70s pimp seat.
Is this the one that you talked about?
Yeah.
The floor one?
The maggot
With
seat.
the maggots. You're going to crawl in my anus. Today we're going to be talking about the 1995 film Tank Girl. But before we do, we've got a top 3 suggestion that was sent by Laura.
Yes.
So what do you want us to talk about?
So my top 3 would be, because Tank Girl is directed by a woman, and the front of the main woman in Tank Girl is a woman. So I thought the question would be, who would you have liked to have seen cast in a film? So a male role, but instead a woman.
That's
that
a
makes
good
sense.
question.
I haven't constructed the question very well.
Don't worry.
I feel
Katty
like-
managed to, boil this down to its bare essence.
Tits, not dicks.
Yeah. I feel like a child asking a question in nursery and I've just gone round the whole...
I tried to write it down and I got it wrong. I sent the Hobo a message and he was like, wrong way around, dude. He was like, oh.
Yeah, you were like, top female roles you wanted men to play.
Yeah. So who wants to go first then with Tits Not Dicks?
No one's jumping at this.
Alright, I'll go.
What are you going for?
So as usual, I normally had a couple of options available, but seeing as I'm going first, I won't say them just in case.
All right, okay.
Okay.
So I am gonna go with. I think I want The Crow.
The Crow.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I think a good revenge. I think specifically as well because there's just a trailer come out for a Jennifer Garner film, which is a revenge flick about her family getting killed, and normally a lot of those are like male-led revenge flicks, like my wife, my daughter get killed. The trailer for the Jennifer Garner one is the other way around. Her husband gets murdered, and she's like, "I'm gonna kill you all." And I think a Crow version of that, a gothic noir. I'm thinking of was it Cate Blanchett in Thor Ragnarok?
Yeah.
She was all gothed up.
Oh yeah.
That
That's
style
a good one.
look pretty good. I reckon. I mean, she's playing an electric guitar and killing people.
Oh, what's that film where Chastain plays guitar? Oh no, she plays bass, and she's like, "I'm just gonna go play some bass." It's like, what is it?
I don't know what that film
It's
is.
Mama. Have you seen Mama?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Is that the horror film?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That
she's like, "I've gotta
terrified me.
Play some bass. Gotta
Really
thrash it out."
angrily.
Jum, 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 jum. So maybe they could get a band going,
I do love how when anyone says play bass, they always do this.
like a hunched shoulder. Jum, 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 jum.
What was it? I love you, man. Slap the bass.
Slapping a bass.
Yeah, so I think a goth-style noir-esque revenge thriller with a female lead could be really good. I don't know who would be my female lead, so I don't know if that was part of the
Oh yeah,
question.
have you got any thoughts now?
I'm
can't
going to
say
go
Chastain.
with I want Helen Mirren because she was in the thumbnail and she's amazing.
Not Meryl Streep.
No.
No, not Meryl Streep.
Or Oprah.
Yeah, no, that was the worst guess ever.
Sorry.
You didn't think Helen Mirren was Oprah?
No. It was...
It was Viola Davis in the thumbnail that I put up. That is
I
like,
was sat really far away.
Right, so you're going for The Crow. Who's going for Who's going for it next?
Oh, everyone's just looking at me.
Do you want to go for it?
Yeah, I'll go for it. So my one's quite I think a generic one. I'd like to see a female James Bond.
Oh, no, that was going to be mine.
Just because of how sexualized James Bond is. Could you imagine it in a woman's
That was
perspective?
definitely going to be my reason as well. I thought that would be really good.
Yeah, I just think it'd be amazing. I can't think I'd want to be a Jane Bond.
So, so why? Any other reasons why?
I just think, like, you know, when James Bond wears the really suave suits, like maybe she doesn't have to wear a dress. Like, it can be really nice suits as well.
Yeah.
Like a lady suit.
A lady suit.
Yeah, nice pantsy. Right, okay, so James Bond, that was definitely going to be mine as well. So I don't know if I'm going to go. Do you want to?
I'll go. So I had two. One of them was kind of like the Hobos. Like, I was thinking maybe like Taken.
Oh, yeah.
But as a lady Taken.
Lady Taken.
But then I was like, you know what? No, not gonna go for that. Not gonna go for that. What I am gonna go for is Gremlins. Yeah.
What? So a female gremlin?
No, a female. What's his face?
Yeah. What is his name? Billy.
Billy. Female Billy. Because that won't happen. Maybe Gizmo would have like a happy little life because she'd be responsible.
Yes.
She wouldn't feed him after midnight. She wouldn't let some idiot spill water on him because she would have cleaned that up.
That's not Billy's fault.
Well, it is. He should have cleaned up the
Billy's
water.
Even after the midnight, they unplug his cock, don't they?
Yeah, but it wouldn't have happened
Yeah.
if he wouldn't have let his little mate come round and like spill water on Gizmo.
Yeah, that's what you get for being friends with Corey Feldman.
If he don't try and drug you or make you grow some weird Danzig-esque fringe, then he's going to spill water on your gremlin.
Oh, right, okay then. So is there any other reasons why is it just because you feel like the female would be more responsible?
I do.
So you would have gone for, remind us again?
Gremlins.
Do you know what? I had down James Bond, and it was the exact same reason. The whole, like, he sexualises all the women. I thought it'd be nice to see it the other way.
Yeah.
What, I'd like it if it was like an old lady. Like an old lady's proper
cougaring. Helen Mirren or Oprah.
Yeah. With a wrinkly cleavage.
I was thinking Michelle Pfeiffer.
Oh,
she would have been a really good Jane Bond.
Oh, what's her face? The one that did Identity Theft.
Melissa McCarthy?
Yeah, I think she'd make a great...
Wasn't she in a film?
Yeah, she was in that spy film, wasn't she?
Yeah.
What is it called?
I think if you release a trailer for Jane Bond with Melissa McCarthy, you would cause so much hate on the internet, it would probably implode on itself.
It'd be great.
It could be the new Ghostbusters. How good would that be? Well, the other one that I was going to go for was Black Panther as well, but that's very kind of James Bond as well. And I'd like to see, is it the Okoye character, the lady who's in Walking Dead? I think she'd be a better Black Panther than T'Challa, because I think she's got bags more charisma. She's an absolute badass. She's bad-manting.
Yeah, she is amazing.
Bad-manting.
People loved her and, what was it, Shuri?
Yeah.
Shuri?
Shuri don't like it.
They kind of stole the show, but in the comic universe, in the same vein, Iron Man became Ironheart, like this female black student, like built her own suit, and Tony Stark kind of mentored her.
Oh, I thought you meant like he just changed sex and race.
Wasn't there a
the
She-Hulk
suit.
as well?
Yeah, there was a She-Hulk, yeah.
Weren't there like a female Thor?
Yeah, Jane
in the comics
took over from Thor, and that's a really good run. Apparently, I haven't read it, but so I think that'd be amazing if, like, in a sort of another about 5 years or 5-10 years time, like the main lineup is like Thor as we know him now is Odin role, and the Thor that we get is like Jane or someone like that taking over. Iron Man is Ironheart, and I think that'd be awesome.
Aquawoman. As ripped as Jason Momoa and shiny.
That's a good point. You've not had any like women on screen who are actually buff, as in like bodybuilder style. She was like stocky. She could fight, but I mean like bodybuilder style buff, which is what like movies they go for the big men who look more physically massive than actually practically massive.
Like where the boobs look like Tic Tacs on
Yeah.
like
Giant Tic.
Tic Tacs on steaks.
Yeah, but the bodybuilder ladies, when they get that big, they start getting those voices that sound like this.
Because it's all the neck muscle that's just
and
like...
their bodies can't handle that kind of neck. And just imagine, like, Thor being like, I am daughter of Odin, with that weird fat neck on.
Painted bronze.
Yeah. So right, I think we've got our top 3, haven't we? Cause
Yeah.
I'd like to see a female Black Panther, but I'm just backing Laura's all the way. I'm going to be your hype man for Jane Bond. So we've got Laura, yours was
Jane Bond.
Jane Bond. Hobo, yours was.
Wait. Did you say who you wanted to play each of yours?
No.
Because I had to say Helen Mirren for mine.
I
so-
said Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah, Michelle
Okay.
Pfeiffer.
Katty.
Oprah.
And what's Oprah starring in?
Gremlins.
And Hobo, what was yours?
Mine was The Crow starring Helen
It'd be
Mirren.
great. Oprah's life coach. Gizmo.
And we'll be back shortly to talk about Tank Girl.
Woo woo.
Hello and welcome back to part 1 of this new episode of the Spoilt Milk Movie Podcast. I nearly forgot the name then. I was like
How many podcasts do you do? Just all the many podcasts?
Yeah, all the different ones. And today we're talking about Tank Girl from 1995. Katty, give us a roundup, give us a synopsis.
A little synopsis. So, basically, Tank Girl is about, I think it's...
Come up with this.
So, year 2033,
Right.
there's, like, no water. It's in, like, mass shortage. There's, like, one company that controls all of the water and all of the power in the whole of the world.
What are they called?
Take one guess.
Power.
They control water and power, and they're just called Power.
They're just called Water and Power. Water and Power Cooperation.
Yeah. It's an imaginative name.
I mean, if there's no water, you're going to go a bit mental.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
Well, you die as well.
yeah, we go crazy first.
Mm.
So yeah, there's no water. These guys are just controlling all of the water, and then there's like a group of like the kind of like 2033 hippies, and they all live in like this little commune, and then they're like siphoning water. And this guy who's like the head of the Power and Water Corporation finds out.
What's his name again? Wessel?
Kessel.
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 Is it Kessel? Right, okay then.
And yeah, he finds out about it, sends his goons out, and a load of people get killed. Tank Girl kicks off, properly kicks off. She really reminds me of Gwen Stefani.
Yeah, she does.
I thought that as well.
But she's
great.
had a bit of a voice of, was it Darcy
Bob
from
Hoskins.
Two Broke Girls?
I didn't know that.
She sounded like...
You sound like a bodybuilder.
her, whatever her accent is, or wherever she's from, it's the woman from Two Broke Girls and
The
the
dark-haired
first four.
one.
Yeah, the first
Yeah.
four. I can't remember which version she's called Darcy, but she's called Darcy in something.
Oh, the dog's getting angry. It
You
doesn't
don't
like
like Two
this.
Broke Girls.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'll leave.
Tank Girl goes crazy. She gets captured by the corporation. They start like using them as like slave labor mining, and she meets another girl. She's called Jet Girl,
Oh yeah.
and it's basically just a story about them two kicking ass and taking names.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Did they take many names?
No, they just kick lots of ass.
Oh, I'd like the name taking if they just got a list out.
Just like tick box.
Yeah.
Stevenson.
And so it's 2033. There's been some kind of comet, hasn't there?
Yeah, so the comet's like screwed up the Earth's water cycle.
Yeah, that didn't
Yeah.
make sense.
You're not allowed any animals because they use up water.
Oh yeah.
Animals are banned.
Yeah, because they have some kind of weird buffalo, don't they, at
Yeah.
the beginning?
And
Does the buffalo... It gets it, doesn't it?
It gets like heartlessly shot.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Right in the cave.
For a minute, I thought
Right in the case.
in that scene the buffalo was going to come save the day and like horn some people and like gore them a little bit, but no, just turns up, stares like, what's going on? And then the guy shoots him in the head.
I mean, everyone likes steak.
Yeah, that's true. I found it weird as well that this was a world where they couldn't have water, but they had beer. I was like, who's still making beer at this point? It's like, I'm not going to have water, but I'm going to make a drink that dehydrates you. I'm like,
and it's also made from water.
Yeah, exactly. That just seems irresponsible.
Did they cover what the food was? What do people
Crackers.
eat?
No, it was fucking crumpets. Can't you remember when they're like fucking buzzing off crumpets? I'm like, crumpets and tea. Crumpets and tea. Can't you remember the bit?
No.
Not giraffes, the kangaroos. When they're like, what can we have for dinner?
The
like, crumpets
Oh,
and tea.
the
Like,
rippers are
crumpets
great.
and tea. I mean, I'm sure we'll get onto those, but maybe that's what they eat. Just fucking English snacks. My nana calls them pikelets. Does yours?
Pikelets are a different thing.
Oh, right.
Pikelets are different to crumpets.
Oh.
I've never heard pikelets before in my life.
I've never heard of that.
Have you not?
It's crumpets.
Yeah. She'd always be like, oh, Chris, do you want a pikelet? I mean, she was a lovely lady, but she was like, oh, have another pikelet. And then give me like 5 with a wedge of butter on every one. I'm like, no, Nana, I don't want another. And she'd be like, have another. And I'd eat it, and she'd be like, big lad won't starve, will he? I was like, you're not fucking feeding me,
Is that why you were fat as a kid?
And she used to put butter on fruitcake. Like, smearing it in it, like as if it was just lubing to like,
I was saying today, someone, when I was ill, went round to my nan to give me just a lump of butter with sugar on it, and that made me feel better.
Oh, I used to have sugar
God.
sandwiches, just like white bread with butter and
I had
sugar on the
toast
top.
and sugar.
Toast and sugar. This is all sounding great.
Or bacon and brown sugar. It's candy bacon.
Ooh, this is good.
Just too much sugar. Just why does everything just have sugar on it?
Because it's tasty as fuck.
So pikelets are just rogue crumpets.
Yeah, so they are crumpets then.
So the flatter, like the thinner,
Yeah.
and they're just rogue because like crumpets are cooked in a ring.
Yeah.
That's why they go big.
And are these square or?
No, they're just freeform, so they're just rogue.
Pikelets are just when you fuck up making crumpets.
They bake freely.
They do your own thing.
I like the
It
sound
sounds
of
like I
pikelets,
could
yeah.
just make something. I could try and do a pancake and go, oh, I fuck it up, and go, oh no, it's a pancakelet. It's
It's a pancake.
I feel like in a world of water and power, Tank Girl was the pikelet. That's my way of getting us back onto the film. So she like has an interaction with her BF, doesn't she, at first?
Yeah.
And doesn't end well for him. Do we even find out his name?
I
don't
remember
think
his-
we
I had a crush
do.
on him when I was younger.
Did you?
I watched this film as a kid and I idolised Tank Girl.
well, that's
And looking back, watching it as an adult, why did my parents let me watch it?
She's
pretty raunchy.
great though.
yeah,
Yeah,
no doubt
she
you had a crush on him because they did the James Bond scene with him. They made
Yeah.
up a reason for him to get his bits out.
It's
Yeah.
Todger.
Yeah,
And he did. He proper got. I mean, you don't see it, but he proper got down to it, didn't
Yeah.
you could imagine it.
he? Oh, I did. I did.
Just drink him in.
Yeah. I think I actually wrote that in my notes. You
Did
could
you?
just drink him in.
There's too much Todger talk today.
So one of the things that starts off quite early and is quite like an ongoing motif, if you will, is the comic book strips.
Don't
Yeah.
get too
Yeah.
fancy with this
Oh,
podcast.
right.
Notice.
It's a theme. It comes back at certain points. That stuff. It's like the comic books, like little flashes, which is
Yeah.
quite cool.
Because it
isn't
was a British comic to start with.
Oh,
So it's a
was
comic
it?
book series, yeah.
Because I know it was is Dark Horse British?
Yeah, I
Right.
think it is.
Because they took it on, didn't they? But I didn't know it was a.
Well, this film started out in my good books because it did like a Clerk style opening of
Yeah.
like some good like punky rock music
Yeah.
and some obviously scenes from the comic, I imagine.
Do you know who produced the soundtrack and everything as well? Courtney Love.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
saw something about that because they wanted Green Day, didn't they?
Yeah.
To come in, and then they got too big. I hated the soundtrack. This was like my kind of soundtrack that, like, at that time, probably all my mates would have loved and been like, yeah, grungy. It right bothered me. It was the kind of music that was in, like, Mallrats, because it had a
Yeah.
similar beginning. And I love Mallrats, but that was the stuff that when I was young, I was like, I hate this grungy music. And I really couldn't get on with it. And it was always there. The music was always there. I was like, fucking pack it in. Like, everything, like, Tank Girl, I'm just going to nip round to the shop. Oh, yeah, I'm just going to milk this cow.
Everything was quite overdone. I felt with the transitions and stuff.
Yeah.
Did you notice that every transition to a new location, the establishing shot was always a shot from the comics rather than an actual shot of the location?
No, I didn't. I know that they
I think
used
they
the
had
comic
budget
book stuff.
problems.
Yeah, as a budget.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were supposed to have all these big action sequences.
Plus all of Tank Girl's outfit changes and hairstyle changes throughout the film.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's amazing. I
Yeah.
think this is why she reminds me of like Gwen Stefani so much. Just like the whole kind of sorry, I've got a dog bite in my hand. Just the whole like change in persona just really quickly and just not caring at all about what she wears. She's like, I want to wear this. I'm gonna wear it.
Yeah, why did people freak out so much about, what was it, Queen Amidala changing her clothes every scene when this has her changing her clothes every shot?
Because at least with this one, it's not stupid makeup
Yeah.
I think it is in some
and
scenes.
giant headpieces
And-
that many children have probably died making.
And digitally deepened voices. Do you remember that they deepened her voice in the first film? Yeah, can't you remember? They like deepened her voice for when she was Queen Amidala.
So she was a bodybuilder.
Taking
And
too
she had
many
like deep
steroids.
voice in it. Oh, what did she say in it? Something about. I'm not going to do the voice. And going back to the film, we get introduced to the big baddie, don't we? I've forgotten his name again. Wessel.
Kessel.
Damn it! I got it right the first time. So Malcolm McDowell pops up, doesn't he? He's got those cool little devices, doesn't he?
I call them the stabby things.
The
I know there's a
stabby
name
things.
for
Stabby
it,
things.
and it drains the water from their body, and then he drinks it.
Yeah, I love
It's
those.
so weird.
Well, why wouldn't you drink
Oh,
it?
I'm just gonna drink the water from a human corpse.
I
You know-
would definitely do that.
That prop though, I can see where it's come from Poundland. Like,
Yes.
it's like those expandable water bottles you can get for £1. It was,
They probably had something really fancy, and then they bought another outfit and like, we'll get Poundland bottles.
yeah.
Mm.
There
What
was-
else was it that I was watching where it looked like all the things were from Poundland?
The fucking Super Mario Brothers, where they had those bobbly things, you know,
Yeah.
those that like bounced on the floor, and they just made those like aliens.
Oh yeah,
Was it? Yeah, it was Super Mario. This
Yeah,
film
it
reminded
was.
me of Super Mario Brothers.
and all its greatness.
And Judge Dredd. It was like those same kind of films around that time, like mid-90s post-apocalypse.
yeah.
Everything's gone to shit.
We've watched films from the 90s before,
have.
and some you feel the 90s, and some you're just like, this is a good film. And then
It's
some
usually
are
when they're
just
trying
like,
to do too much, isn't
yeah,
it?
it's not understanding like the limitations of the budget, I guess. Which
Because
is
Kindergarten Cop was 90s, and that
Yeah.
felt like they probably spent all
Such
the
a good
budget on
film.
Arnie.
Yeah.
So, Laura, you picked this film, didn't
Yes.
you? Why?
I wanted to be Tank Girl.
Did ya?
As a kid, I used to copy how she acted and how she dressed. You know how straightforward she can be when he's like, "Say you're the loser." Was it "Say I'm the winner"? And she's like, "No, I'm the winner."
Yeah.
I used to be like that with my brother and my parents, so I just copied her outright. So,
How old were you when you watched this?
so I was about 6, 7.
What?
Yeah.
6 or 7?
and you were seeing a naked man's bottom
Yes.
and child prostitution,
Yes.
Yeah. Well, the whole prostitution bit.
homophobia between lesbians.
Oh, yeah, they didn't like that, did they?
There was that daddy gets laid joke as well.
Oh, yeah.
That was really weird.
Oh, yeah. That was weird.
I can't remember the joke
Yeah,
now.
about
what was it?
like,
think I might
remember you losing your virginity or something.
Yeah.
And then say-
Daddy, are you sure this is right?
yeah,
That's
that
the
was-
line. I can't remember the setup for it, but
Just
Yeah.
nonsense everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I watched this film on my own last night, and I was like, "Oh, this is a bit much." Like looking around me,
Did you
What type
blush?
of person
I
is
did.
Laura?
I did blush.
and there's loads of like nuddy women there with
Nuddy.
Yeah.
just bits of tassels.
What's that bit at the beginning where she's like rubbing the scissors on her legs?
Oh,
Yeah.
And one
God.
of Kessel's guards just sort of stands there because she thinks it's her boyfriend,
Yeah.
and he just stands there and lets her get on with her, and she's like cutting the tights
And
up
that's
all really
Richard Schiff from
sexily.
The West Wing as well. I'm like, you should know better.
Yeah.
that was one of the first scenes where, because like I said, they already had me with the 90s stuff and the Clerks. I was like, I'm into this. And then that was one of the first scenes. I was like, what is this doing? It spent like it felt like 5-10 minutes on just her cutting up her tights in a air quote sexy way. I don't know how you make that sexy because it was just showing a scissors cutting time.
Well, she was rubbing the blade up her thigh.
Do you know what,
I'm
though?
rubbing my hand up my thigh as I say it.
It's getting sexy.
When I was like 15, 16 or whatever, like I could watch anything. I remember seeing like all videos of like skateboarders falling off things and like being like, oh, my bone's hanging out, and I was like, yeah, that's fucking cool. Now I'm like in my 30s, I don't like anything like that. And when she was rubbing the scissors on her leg, I was like, oh, like,
dangerous.
Don't cut yourself up. Like I was really like squeamish
some
about
Germolene on
that. Yeah, I really was. I couldn't handle it. And then she whacked out the line, I like pain. I was like, oh, she's just said that.
And she said that quite a bit throughout the film as well. She'd get beaten up a bit. It's a bit worrying.
Yeah, she does get punched around a bit
Yeah, she
and
does.
smacked up a bit. She like breaks a guy's neck with her legs.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
did she break his neck?
Yeah.
She definitely.
On the were they on a plane at that
Well,
point?
but they decided to keep her alive for no other reason that they wanted to rape her.
Yeah.
That's why they decided to keep her alive.
They wanted to break her, they said, because she's got good sort of leadership skills.
No,
I think,
that's what he
or-
said when she got there.
Yeah.
But the soldiers first didn't shoot her, like they'd shot all of her family. It was like, oh, we could have some fun with her.
See, I was too young as a kid to realise what was going on.
He was like, oh, they probably want to play Monopoly.
They just get crazy with like all sorts of torture stuff, and then they put her in that pipe.
Yeah, I think that was. I mean, I think that was the point to bring it around for the bit at the end. I think they did. There was an effort made to make this movie have some like story arc.
I felt like it was very, very Augustus Gloop though.
What's that? Oh,
Yeah, it was a bit.
Wonka when he gets.
He gets
Trapped.
sucked up the pipe.
Do you know what though? Like, I liked the idea of the claustrophobic side of things, like putting you in a pipe. But he was trying to like sell it a bit. I'm gonna put you in the pipe, and it was like the pipe.
Oh, and it's a pipe that runs for 400 yards and gets smaller and smaller. But you won't see that because like we only put you so far down, and that's about it. So the smaller and smaller bit doesn't matter.
Do you know what they were talking about? Like I felt like this film had a lot of like over sexualization, and at the end, and I know this is probably quite bad of me, but when it was made by a female director, I was like, oh, I kind of thought it'd been some kind of pervy man being like, oh, we'll have a lesbian
And that's what
kiss
makes
scene.
the film great, because it was done by a woman.
Yeah, it's like, and the weird sexy dust shower. And I was like, why is this getting all like slow motion when she was like, dust?
Yeah.
I was
Well,
like, oh.
why wasn't there a scene of her just go?
And she pretends to be Jet's girlfriend.
Just doing what everyone would do, just like.
Yeah, exactly.
I reckon it was Chocolate. Do you remember Chocolate? Where you'd go to the shop and you'd just they'd have like a tub and they'd be like, do you want a quarter? And they'd like pour it out and it was just chocolate dust.
I used to eat that all the time. I used to work in a
No.
newsagents. That was
Chocolate.
like a way sweet place. You used to get like Yorkshire mix and like chopped dip.
Yeah.
Never
and
heard
chocolate
of that.
was the best. It was just powder. It's probably like when they swept up the factories and it was like all the dusty chocolate stuff. And they'd just put it in a big tub and sell it to you.
So like half chocolate dust, half just dirt.
Yeah.
You'd be able to like pull some recognisable bits out every so often. You'd be like, oh, that's half a Smartie or
Toenail.
yeah, top of a Rolo or somebody's tongue.
My neighbour's dad, like he worked on machines for like sweets and stuff. So they did get he brought back like big bags of just random assortments of sweets, like on a weekly basis or something like that. And I think they were all like rejects.
Oh, all the
slash
misshapes. Yeah.
shop floor stuff.
Love
Yeah.
a good misshape.
There's 2 sweet factories in Pontefract, so I'm down for misshapen chocolates and sweets and stuff. It's great.
Well, on that sweet note, let's call it time for part 1 and we'll be back shortly to discuss the end of the film and what goes on in it.
That's good. I'm tired of asking them questions anyway. I say we kill him.
I say we hump him.
I say we get crumpets and tea.
Tasty. Crumpets and tea. All in favor of crumpets and tea, say aye.
Aye. Shut up. Ain't gonna be no crumpets and tea.
Hello and welcome back to part 2 of this Tank Girl episode of the Spoilt Milk movie podcast. So at this point, I think we were saying we've got up to the bit where they're in the whorehouse, the prostitute village.
Strip bar.
Prostitute village.
Well, it was a bit bigger than like a normal brothel, the ones that I go to.
Winston's above the chippy.
Yeah.
Oh,
This was a full-on like Dr. Evil lair.
No, you need a lot of selection, otherwise you're not going to get a decent amount of competition, and that's when someone can get a monopoly and hike
That's
up the
true.
prices.
I mean, the Titty Twister had a lot of selection.
Yeah,
It
true.
did, yeah. Mm.
But it was the only game in town for a while because they were in the middle of desert on top of a hellmouth. So
Yeah.
Mm.
Did they have chicken pussy?
Oh, in Tank Girl.
No, in
do you mean
in
Yeah, he
Dust Till
says
Dawn.
chicken
Yeah.
pussy, or
Yeah.
did they have chicken, and were you calling me a pussy then?
No. Did they have chicken pussy?
Yeah, because he's like apple pie, pussy, and all that, doesn't he? But this is a bit more of an upmarket establishment.
They're all
isn't
in
it?
silver and white and
That's how you know you've made it.
yeah.
Silver
Anyway,
and white.
silver and white. So why did they end up here again? I forget.
So they're looking for the little girl that got taken. I can't remember
The
her
little
name
girl
now.
we didn't mention at all in part one.
Yeah.
That lives with Tank Girl
Mm.
at the beginning. So everyone gets killed apart from the little girl.
Mm.
And they go looking for her. And the whole time it's a trap, isn't it? So like at this point,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
at this point you see that Kessel says, she's fallen for the trap and she's gonna.
Oh, he's cheeky,
Yeah,
that
he
guy.
kind of lets her escape from that work camp that they put her in, and did we even mention the work camp that she was in?
No.
Oh. She was put in a work camp because he noticed she was a leader but didn't want to kill her, so kept her around.
That's
Mm.
why
And
she
then
met
let
Jet
her-
Girl.
Yeah, met Jet Girl, then escaped, and then ended up in this whole
Didn't the
house.
Rippers help her escape though?
And
No.
that when Kessler loses his arm.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
'Cause
yeah.
the
so-
Rippers attack them, don't they?
Yeah, so you hear a lot about the Rippers at the start.
Yeah.
And you don't know what they are at first, and they
Mm.
look like these sort of mutiny things when they don't help her break out, they attack, and then she happens to break
Get
out.
free. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because at the beginning it had the credits and it was like Rippers by Stan Winston. I was like, yes, Stan Winston, love Stan Winston.
Yeah.
Predator, Terminator.
But that
And then they turned up and I was like, they look very Predator, and they had the whole like heat vision as well.
Mm.
What were you saying?
I thought that introduction to the Rippers wasn't very well done. I'm getting a lot of looks here that I may be the only one. I thought it was very much because I thought they were meant to be like proper beasts and stuff, and it did just look like a bunch of men like in black suits, like really bad ninjas doing really bad running around.
Whoa!
Get out!
Get out of my house.
Okay.
And just when you think they're really badass ninjas, what actually are the Rippers?
Kangaroos.
Like mutant kangaroos, aren't they?
They're like the mutant army kangaroo soldier guys.
Yeah.
I had no idea what was going on at this
Yeah,
point.
same.
I was like, what the fuck is that giant dog? Like, this film
Yes!
was already pretty crazy at this point. And then these kangaroos turned up and I was like, holy shit bombs. Like, it took another level of crazy. And I, was
I
like,
thought
what
they
the
were
fuck?
dogs when I first saw them.
I did.
And it was only when the tails thing came up.
I was
"They're
just like, that
weird
dog's got a
tail."
big tail, like Moose.
But they were like thick, like fleshy tails rather than furry tails.
I didn't like the way you said that, Hobo.
fleshy. I've got a fleshy tail.
I'm taking pictures of my dog's fleshy tail.
So
You let me.
when they go into the whore destination, is that before?
Final destination.
I'm trying to think of new ways of saying it. Because they go down, there's a whole, Laura, you were mentioning a whole song and dance.
Yeah, that was in the strip club place. So like
Yeah.
Tank Girl goes up to his room and there's this sort of like futuristic screen. It's like how you should dress as
It's
a
got
stripper.
the lady from En Vogue in as well.
Yeah.
I was like watching that and I was like, that's the woman from En Vogue. And like had to Google it straight away and like went on IMDb and was like, yeah. I was like, I know my En Vogue.
Well done.
Yeah. So they do like a dance number,
A
don't they?
random song in the middle
Yeah.
of this film that isn't punk or anything.
Until the end when
Yeah.
we hear a punk cover. But what was that about?
It's talking about the birds and the bees.
Yeah.
Sex.
Oh, right.
in a strip club. Makes sense. And you also see Iggy Pop as Ratface.
Yeah, you do, because
Yeah.
he cropped up and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, he's
Iggy
trying
Pop.
to get the child because she sees the little girl there, doesn't she?
I
And
mean, he looks the sort to try and steal children.
Was that Iggy Pop?
yeah, that's Ratface.
Just imagine him being like, yeah, I'll come up to be in your film. What's the character? Nonce.
Pedophile.
Yeah. Pedo pop. Right, I'm in.
Shall I bring my own kids?
Yeah.
So we've got the kangaroo people, the rippers. We've got
Ice-T.
Ice-T. He was angry, wasn't he?
He's called T-Saint.
No way.
That's his name as a Ripper. He's called T-Saint.
I did not know that.
I must admit, the actual like special
Makeup.
effects, the makeup for the kangaroos did look really good.
It did.
I loved the Rippers.
Once I
It's
got
amazing.
past like what the fuck they were doing there,
Because they
like,
live
what the fuck was
underground, don't
going
they?
on. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Did-
I really enjoyed the interactions with them.
Did anyone get the weird reminiscence of like Ninja Turtles from them?
Yeah.
Living underground and like they've all got really, really different personalities.
Some very specific personalities.
And like, they love pizza. They love crumpets.
And tea.
And tea, yeah, and tea.
They have like nitrous oxide, don't they? And they're like,
Yeah.
it's like they call it truth gas or something, and they give it to Tank Girl and Jet Girl, and they're just getting really high off it, and they're like giggling and everything.
Yeah.
They were really indoctrinated
And
into,
rapey.
Yeah.
Who was their leader, the prophet guy?
Johnny
Cochran. That's what I wrote down there. I didn't know, like...
It was something rotten. Like it was supposed to be a play on Johnny Rotten.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
is that what it was?
But
Yeah.
they were really like preaching him like he was the Lord.
He's really big in
Savior.
the comics. So
Yeah.
he's like trying to think of the word for it, like a cult leader.
Johnny Prophet.
Yeah.
Johnny Prophet.
They definitely felt more like a cult. Like
Yeah.
at first they were lovable, and as they went on and kept talking about this, I was like, "This is more cult. You should get out of here."
When they're laying there sort of half unconscious on the nitrous gas or whatever it was, you hear one of them go, "I say we hump him," and it's like, what?
Well, she fucks one of them as well, which I was like, what?
Yeah.
I mean,
Is
it's
this
not...
bestiality? Or...
It's not, I mean,
Donna.
if Shape of Water can win an Oscar...
Yeah, true.
But, like, even just looking over my notes, being like, what the fucking fuck, dog people. Ice-T is a giant kangaroo. They love crumpets and tea. Doug Jones is a ripper, the guy, who's in, like, all of...
Oh, Doug Jones was one of them.
Which one
who's
was he,
in
the grumpy
Pan's
one?
Labyrinth, the tall, lanky one.
I'm trying to think which one, because I know their names.
Reincarnated kangaroos. Like, what? I was like, why are you reincarnated? Bowling balls everywhere? Why are there bowling balls everywhere?
They're really into Kingpin.
Roy Munson.
Yeah, this
yes.
was budget. Obviously, went on the creature stuff, and then maybe that fake arm, and so maybe the rest of set design was just like whatever you've got. And some guys like, I've got a bowling ball collection. Yeah, shove that in.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
kinda
it made
like
it look
Turtles.
extra quirky. And
Yeah,
this,
it
But you got backstories to the Rippers as well. So, like, Booger used to be a dog.
Yeah.
What was his name?
Booger.
Bugger.
Booger.
Bugger.
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 Not bugger as in I'm gonna bugger you.
Well, that's what I'm hearing.
Bugger as in like boogie,
Like
like
booger.
bogey.
Yeah, like I'm gonna
Bugger.
bugger you.
No, as in like
While I pick my nose.
I've got a bugger up my nose.
He's like, I got upgraded to a dog, no, to a human.
Yeah.
He was fun. I liked him.
And DT used to be a cop, didn't he?
Yeah,
The
he
really
did,
grumpy
didn't he?
one,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I was a cop. And then there's the weird scene as well after that where they do like a calendar shoot.
Oh, yeah, so
Oh,
they think that Tank Girl and Jet Girl are working for Kessel.
Yeah.
And to prove that they're not, they go and see what's in this delivery. And they have these, like, cameras that one of the Rippers has made, and they have to just basically go and take pictures, and it just works out that Tango's pretending to be this, like, manager, sort of model photographer.
Is that why, like, they mentioned something about her liking Doris Day at the beginning? And I was like, did that go anywhere?
I don't remember.
And she loved Doris
Yeah.
Day? Was she trying to be Doris Day? Or was it just...
Just a random
Cohen.
Tank Girl reference.
Yeah.
I think whoever wrote this was trying to be the wittiest they ever could be, and was probably they thought they were wittier than they were.
Is this
Like-
post-Clerks?
I don't know actually. I can't think what year Clerks came out.
I just opened my IMDb and it was already on Tank Girl.
But I did like how I love it when
after.
I love how technology really dates in films, and the
What
camera
they expect.
was like the best thing ever. Like I bet that looked really futuristic when it came out, like a camera with a flash on it, and instantly sending photos to this computer.
Yeah.
And it was loading like line by line. And because I imagine that time most people just had like film cameras, so it's like, how are they doing that? That's a special camera. Now it's like, I'm live streaming from my phone without even trying.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
So, is this pretty much like it starts to get towards the end?
Yeah.
It
So,
is.
and we start to see Malcolm McDowell's not the man he used to be, because he's had a bit of a transformation, hasn't he? A bit of a man in the iron mask moment. And
Face off.
Yeah.
They tease that throughout the whole thing, but like his face is really ripped to shreds, and then you see him in a mask, and then when he gets the work done, they don't show his face. He's got a metal arm. You see the arm with all the knives sticking out of it, but you never see his face.
There's a really funny scene. He's watching Tank Girl
Oh,
sort
yeah.
of break, because she's out now and she's working with the Rippers. And there's this one scene, and he's just sort of stood there with a glass of water in his hand, in like a cocktail glass. And you can see his arm, like his bionic arm, but then you see everything apart from his head, and the TV's covering his head. And it's just overdone, I think.
Yeah.
I loved it. But...
Do you think that he just wasn't there? Do you think that like he just came for the beginning and the end? Because he seemed to be in the beginning a lot, and then turned up at the end.
Yeah.
And then all the middle, he was either
He
stood
just had a
behind
stunt double.
something or with a mask on.
You think the Rippers sent him insane?
No, I just don't
Your
think they could
budget
afford
only
him.
gets you so much, yeah.
It's like you can have 5 days.
You only get beginning and end.
Yeah.
Or you get the middle. That's it.
Yeah. I can't think of any films where I've seen the middle age of Malcolm McDowell. I've obviously seen him young, Clockwork Orange and stuff like that. Seen him old, like this is like probably the youngest old version of him I've seen. I haven't seen anything in between. Did he not do any films for
He
a
did
good...
Star Trek, didn't he? Nemesis, was it?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but still quite old.
Maybe he got into drugs like real hard, so he just weathered.
Yeah. Or maybe he was like in a sewer and it came as a form of a light in a pipe and he saw it and his hair just turned white.
Just got high with the Rippers.
Yeah, maybe. There was a weird, creepy bit where he like spoke with a little girl's voice.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And it was like...
that weirded me out.
Yeah.
So the girl from the start who got kidnapped and was after, for anyone trying to follow the thread, because it was hard watching the movie and following the thread. The little girl is now in the pipe, but now the pipe is filling with water.
The pipe.
Yeah,
Filling
the pipe.
with water.
Yeah.
Their like most cherished commodity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pour sand in it. You've got loads of that.
No
Maybe
one
he
needs
loves
sand.
irony. It's just
But he
like,
does
yeah.
waste water a lot
He
throughout the
does.
film. You see him just unnecessarily throwing it. And
I mean, I would.
Yeah.
I'd be like one of them evil people, just like splashing water in people's faces.
Like that scene in, have you seen Three Amigos? When they're
Yes.
out in the desert and they've got no water and then Chevy Chase just pours it all over his face. I'd just do that.
Please tell me you two have seen Three Amigos.
no.
No.
Oh my god, I love Three Amigos.
So how does it end? How do they kill off McDowell? I don't think I've got a note. Did they
Guess.
pour
Right.
water on him, don't
Yeah.
they? I've got pours water on him and his head stops working.
It's like holographic head.
Yeah.
Holographic head, even.
And it was proper Lawnmower Man as well, that
Yeah,
head.
the reveal of him having a holographic head was kind of cool until it didn't make sense.
Yeah.
Because...
At what point did you think, you know what, this film's going to start making sense?
You know what? Even with crazy films, this should always be some form of internal logic. And
Film has none.
yeah, this film was just like, whatever's cool goes in the next scene.
It's a really quotable film. Like, there's a point where the Rippers say like that's totally negatory.
Oh,
And
yeah.
if anyone asked me anything back then, that was my response.
That's totally negative.
Yeah.
That was bugger, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was bugger.
I did like...
That was Bugger.
I like... that was bugger before he
I
buggered.
think the Rippers were the best part of the film for me.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Totally.
I liked the little bits of animation in between, even though one bit isn't the animation essentially she beats up Jet Girl for, like, she starts getting into a tank, and it suggests that it just cuts to black. You don't see it, but then Jet Girl ends up with a black eye and goes,
no, because she smashes the thing into her head.
Yeah,
doesn't she?
but no, and then after that she says sorry, but then they disagree on something, and then it cuts to black, and then the audio is about them having a fight, and then it cuts to Jet Girl with a bigger black eye, and just be like, all right, I'm going along with your plan, Tank.
I mean, Jet is a bit of a whiny bitch.
Yeah. She does get better throughout the film, but...
Yeah, she does, At the beginning, she looked like she didn't even want to be there.
Have we mentioned who Jet is played by?
Naomi Watts.
Naomi Watts. The one and only. She could play a good part in The Crow.
I saw something.
Your Crow.
A video.
My Crow film.
Hobo Crow.
She was saying she's ashamed of this film now. I don't know.
You should be happy with what you've done.
Yeah, exactly. It got her to where she needed to be. So, shall we give our opinions on what we thought of the film?
Yeah.
Who wants to go first?
Go on, Hobo.
Oh, why is me first or now? I can't.
Because you complained the last time and the time before that. Why am I never first?
Yeah, but I don't mean you listen to me. It means you ignore me more and push me to the back more.
We're loving people, Hobo.
For this, I really like. This is my kind of film with the animation, the music style, the weirdness, and especially like the Turtles-esque kangaroos, but I think it definitely came at the wrong time for me because it was hard to watch. Like, none of it made sense. Every scene it felt very loosely like it led on to the next scene. It was just like, and I imagine it's probably because it was adapted from a comic book and the person was probably a big comic book fan. They went, I know I want to have this, and they knew exactly what Tank Girl fans probably wanted to see and what would look good in a movie, which is good, but they didn't tie it together. So I was like, so it's a spoilt milk from the Hobo.
Oh, who's going next?
I'll go next.
Right.
I love this. It is everything that I want in a film, just nonsense. Nonsense and bullshit and nonsense. Just the special effects, Tank Girl, like you said, Laura, like Tank Girl's attitude, just it's absolutely amazing. 2 seconds.
We'll come back to Katty's opinion after the dog interlude.
We just sat on the doorstep barking at nothing.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, just her attitude, her outfits, just... She is a role model that every single female should have. Just
definitely.
Strong, independent boss bitch. That's it.
Boss bitch.
So what are you saying?
I am saying cheese, man.
Luxurious cheese. Laura, what are you going for?
What would you guys think? It's cheese for me.
Why do you like it so much?
It's my childhood, and she's just perfect, and I idolised her. I love the director as well. I think it's Rachel Talalay. She directed The Borrowers, the 80s Hairspray, Nightmare on Elm Street 4, and Crybaby with Johnny Depp.
Oh, nice.
Which one's for Nightmare on Elm Street?
It's the Dream...
Is it Dream Warriors?
Yeah, Dream Warriors.
Nice.
Not just because of that. I do like Rachel Talalay, but I just love... What's her name? Laurie? I've forgotten who Tank Girl's played by.
Petty, is
Laurie
it?
Petty.
Petty.
Yeah. And yeah, she's just fantastic. And I love the Rippers. The Rippers are just so funny. Me and the Hobo were watching it together, and you turned to me and you went, "This is why you like it." So yeah, cheese all the way.
Because the costume designer, I think, is Catherine Hardwicke as well, who did Twilight. I quite like Twilight. I thought that was a plus point.
I have rewatched Twilight recently. I just sort of joined in with everyone else.
I like them. I like all of them.
You like fucking Twilight.
We should do them. We should do all of them.
I would love
How
to
many
do that.
is there?
4?
There's 4.
Yeah,
No,
Twilight, Eclipse,
New Moon,
Breaking Dawn, New Moon, Breaking Dawn Part 2, 5.
Yeah.
Woof.
I am not watching.
We should do them just so Hobo has to watch them. So luxurious cheese.
Yep.
Oh wow.
So down to you, champ.
I fucking hated this. I absolutely hated it. Like, there was a point in it when I was just like, I am hating this. Like, I'm so glad I watched it. Like, it's so good to watch something that you, like, aggressively detest. And, like, every scene seemed to just be, like, the worst. Like, I don't like grunge music. So the soundtrack really frustrated me. I put at one point, it was like having a film about, Rob Schneider in Judge Dredd.
Yeah.
Like, if they're like, we're not bothered about Judge Dredd, we'll just focus on Rob Schneider. And she kept, like, making noises all the time. And I was like, what's going on? Like, she'd just be like, oh, I'm going to sit on a tank. And I was like, what are you doing?
She's quirky.
Yeah, but it was the kind of person that, like, if I knew them, I'd be like, I don't want to be near you.
I think cocaine played a large part in her method acting.
Yeah.
Have you seen her in Orange is the New Black?
No, I've never seen
she's
that.
amazing.
No.
She plays like
She reminds me of Tank Girl in that.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
Tank Girl.
Yeah.
What else has she been in other than Tank Girl and
Point
Orange?
Break.
Point Break.
Oh,
A League of Their Own.
I don't know about that.
The Madonna baseball film with Tom Hanks in.
Only
Madonna
Tom Hanks
baseball.
of that appeals to me. Madonna and baseball.
Gina
doesn't.
Davis with her tiny teeth.
Cannibal Teeth.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, Laurie Petty. She's been in quite a lot. But yeah, I did not like this at all. Like, it went on forever. Like, I was about 10 minutes into it, and I looked, and it went on for an hour and 44. I was like,
God,
oh my
yeah.
God, where is my Aladdin 2 running time?
Yeah.
I want some kind of 69-minute bad boy.
Is that the ideal standard when we're watching films
anything-
that you hate
yeah.
now? Is it the Aladdin 2 running time?
Yeah, but again, I loved watching it because I was like, it's good to watch something that I don't like. But yeah, Spoilt Milk for me.
It's funny how
So we're
the
at a
girls
tie.
liked it and the guys
I know, I feel
Yeah.
bad for
Yeah.
that. So we're at a tie break.
Oh, shit.
What are we going to do?
Rock,
Toss a
paper,
coin?
scissors? Oh, okay. Toss a coin will be easier.
What, heads for cheese, tails
Yeah.
for milk?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Right, you going to do that on the back of the hand thing?
I'll try.
Right, go for it.
Oh, God.
all right, what
Have
did it
you hit a
land
mic?
It's heads.
Oh.
So it's heads for cheese?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a
Oh,
fine.
right, so it's a fine luxurious
Can't
cheese.
you give us a fine
Yay!
luxurious cheese? I'm not
There we
cracking
go.
that.
You will clap.
So again, thanks for joining us, Laura. It's been great having you on, and thanks for suggesting this film as well.
Thank you for having me. It's been fun.
And thanks, Hobo.
No.
And fuck you, Katty. And you stupid ass dog.